Hello and welcome back to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms.
All of its forms?
All of its forms. If it's written word, it's game.
Oh my god.
Let's meet the panel.
Jim.
Hannah.
Charlie.
And Josh.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good.
What are we talking about today?
Today we'll be discussing the poem Oranges by Gary Soto.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hannah here loves oranges. You know that much. All
Yes.
ready for the occasion.
Now, panel, how would you categorize oranges and why?
You want to take this one off?
Sure, primarily it's a coming-of-age narrative. You have this boy, presumably now a man, the speaker, reflecting on his first date with a girl, you know. And he can't afford to pay for the chocolate she wants, so he pays with an orange that he grew and a dime, and then the manager takes the money. And then he has another orange, and he can open that up, and it's like as rich to him as fire would be to anyone else. So it's like it's his nourishment, it's everything to him.
In addition, this is a form of Latino literature
Yes.
from Gary Soto's background. The oranges represent his background as. So,
Well, if you've had any of my classes, you know that I always refer to reflections of the poet in his work, along with the heart and mind of the poet, which is, the intense perception of the world around him, the enlightened perception of the world around him. And this is obviously his first date, but I think it's also a mixture of his first date and the first date that he had with his own wife, which was very exciting to him. And it's the universal emotion that he's trying to bring through of young people on their first date.
Yeah, he's
the excitement,
nervous,
the excitement.
Yeah.
So it equals to him the orange. With his enlightened perception of the
Yes.
world around him, the orange is a fire in his hand. He is all aflame. With
Yep.
this first date, he's so excited. It comes through with the orange. And what does he perceive in the orange? If you've had my class, you know. The orange, there's so much to it. People look at an orange, they don't see the real orange that a poet might see. The smell, the perfume, the package, the color,
The shape.
and what happens when you peel back the orange.
zest.
Zest, and you have the white part underneath the skin, the outside, the color. Why is it so brightly colored? The wonder, the
To attract
kindness, and humans, that includes humans, attract the eater. That's so there's so much benevolence within the orange. And not to mention the nutrition, the deliciousness. You break open the segments and you have hundreds and thousands of little cells capturing all the juice of the orange.
I like the juice.
If you bite into it, you get a burst of flavor in your mouth that is hard to reproduce. Humanity can't produce it. Humanity can produce the nickel, but it cannot produce the orange. It can take the orange and squeeze it and put it in a paper container that could spill.
It can also choose where the orange is grown. But
That's correct.
as long as
And encourage the growth, but it cannot recreate an orange.
I will admit as well that when the speaker, in this case Gary Soto, pulled out the orange, it came off as being some kind of holy grail, and he really described that very. He has his female companion eating chocolate, which most of us would eat chocolate, but
Me too.
pulling out an orange, the sparks come about at that time, I must say.
Yes.
Usually with chocolates, my eyes will light up. Like, oh, darling, you shouldn't have.
Yeah, you would be the one with the chocolate and.
Well, it's the drive to not disappoint, isn't it? It's wanting to look good at the first date, and then look at this. If she can pick up the chocolate that cost the 5 cents more, is she likely from the same class as the narrator?
Oh, I see what you did
Like
there.
if she just zooms in on the more expensive chocolate.
Did you know chocolate is actually coming from a bean, and it's kind of a salad?
That
You
is
can-
true.
And the beans are pushed up into a salad. So chocolate is actually a salad.
And naturally, chocolate tastes like dirt. It's the sugar that makes it sweet.
I like.
Oh, I like raw cacao. I think it's really good.
And it also comes from the ancient Mexican civilization
Yes.
who first exposed it to the Spaniards as hot chocolate,
Yes.
the Mayans and the Aztecs, and he is a Mexican from a poverty home in Fresno, and I think that's part of it too. Where you see oranges all over his work. I mean, in a short story, he'll pick an orange from a tree, and it'll be hanging out of his mouth, and it's nourishment. His father was killed when he was 6 years old. He was left as the middle child, and he had an orange tree in his yard where he could grab the most delightful nutrition. He didn't have to buy this.
Yes.
And he loved to write about just everyday things and make them live, find the right words to bring back the experience and the magic
He
of the experience.
He also struggled in school, and he turned
Very
to
much
literature
so.
in
He
order
has a-
to.
He has a poem called Words to the Substitute Teacher. Well, it's questions actually, and they all, the teacher keeps asking all this stuff that's like on the syllabus, and then one of the students goes, I'll ask her if she knows what it's like to sleep on a rooftop, and I bet she can't answer that.
Wow.
Right. So, it's the enlightened perception of the gifts that abound in nature, the wisdom and the kindness that abounds in nature, and that can really fill each and every person with wonder and delight. As at fire in his hands. One day I was walking down the hallway, and there was, all of a sudden I smelled something amazing. I'm walking
Chocolate?
down the hallway. Well, no, not quite. I see a student had peeled a huge orange, and the entire hallway was filled with this fragrant smell. It was one of those really big ones that are easy to peel. The orange wasn't there anymore, but it lingered in the entire hallway.
Even-
had this delicious smell, fragrance. It was palpable. You could feel it in the air. It's perfumed. It perfumed the air. And right now I'm holding an orange. My hands, it has the orange oil in it. You can feel it. You can use it. You can sterilize with it.
Yeah, I was going to
And
say
the
cleaning.
That's right.
Cleanse.
They've come out with so much about the orange, the
And it's-
nutritional value.
It's better for the, coming out as a cleansing material.
Yes,
It's better for the environment.
of course.
Let's go orange.
It's natural. It's something that everyone can pick off a tree and have the most wonderful, wonderful, nutritious food that gives life. A fire in his hand. That he wrote a book called Fire in My Hand. And I just love this poem. It's so much, it's him, because this is what he wanted to do, talk about simple things, and when he equates it with his wonderful first date, which is a universal feeling that we can all feel, the excitement of the orange comes through.
Yes. And then you get that whole, he's drawing on a very rich tradition in American poetry where you have Charles Reznikoff writing poems about seeing that dried fungus on the sidewalks
Yes.
where, how there's like that black tar and that's dried up gum. And he's like, this is worthy of a poem. I'm
It's
going to
very
write about
interesting,
this.
right?
Everybody views things differently. the way goes.
And then Williams with his whole pastoral, where he's talking about his house, and he's like, when I was younger, it was made clear to me I must make something of myself. Older now, I walk back streets admiring houses of the very poor, roofs out of line with sides, the yards cluttered with old chicken wire, ashes, furniture gone wrong, all painted, if I am fortunate, a light blue that pleases me best of all colors. And then he indents, and the last line is, no one will believe this of great import to the nation.
Oh,
Yes, and that's very much on topic, because that's what, that was the draw for Gary Soto. When he came across poetry, he thought all poetry had to be about rainbows and, you know, life and death and all this. When he found out, when he read Corso's Marriage and Neruda's work on a sock or on a whatever it is, you know, all those things, alleys, he knew that he could just talk about things that were real to him, his life experience, and make them live.
Neruda's great with his elemental odes, like he did the whole to laziness,
Yes.
to my clothesline. Yeah, it just goes on and on.
Speaking to these different inanimate objects as if they're being personified.